Hello, athletes, and welcome to the pre-race race webinar for USA Triathlon's Age Group National Championships to be held in Cleveland, Ohio, August 11th and 12th. My name is Brian D'Amico. I'll be the race director for the event. As we go through this webinar, and once it's recorded and posted, you can go back and watch this as many times as you'd like. I would definitely use this as a really good resource tool to gain further information about the event. All this information is also posted on the website, so we will go ahead and get started. First and foremost, we have a new events app this year. So if you downloaded the events app last year in 2017, please make sure that you delete that. The app will provide a lot of different resources and tools for you as you go through it. It's termed the USA Triathlon Events app. So some main features of this app are tracking yourself and other participants. You can register for race updates, so those will come through via mobile device as well as pushing to social media. Additionally, we'll have a green screen opportunity at packet pickup where you can get your picture taken with that, and then those will automatically be uploaded to our USAT Facebook account. Additionally, other important notifications that may come through from our team, so reminders as far as when race is starting, when packet pickup is open, when the expo is open, as well as some sponsor opportunities as well. Lastly, you can view overall race results and current race leaderboard based off of quasi-real time where those timing mats are placed on the course. So just note that those times are estimates based off of when the athlete has last passed over that specific. Running through the schedule of events, so on Thursday, August 9th from 2 to 6 p.m. will be the packet pickup and expo at the Edgewater Park within the registration tent, and that is within the expo area. On Friday, packet pickup and expo will be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. again at Edgewater Park, which is the main venue and hub for the event. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., swim practice will take place for both Olympic and sprint distance athletes. For those athletes wishing to participate in this, please make sure that you've checked in, you have your packet, and you're wearing a swim cap. It's of the utmost importance from our end and all the athletes' safety to ensure that all athletes are accounted for. The course will be set for a sprint distance course, but we will also have the Olympic distance turn buoys on the course as well. Just note that you will only go to the sprint distance turnaround, but those buoys will be set where they will be placed on race day to give you sighting opportunities in practice prior to actual race day. There'll be a mandatory bike check-in for Olympic distance athletes only from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that runs concurrently with the packet pickup time. Just note this is mandatory. You must check your bike in during this time. We'll have security overnight and throughout the day as well. So all your gear and bikes will be completely safe during that check-in period within TA. At 2 o'clock p.m., it'll be myself and our Commissioner of Officials, Deb Wilson, as well as USADA, who will kick off the rules briefing at 2 p.m. at the Cleveland Public Auditorium. That sits directly adjacent to the host hotel, which is the Hilton downtown. For the first 10 minutes, USADA will give a quick presentation on anti-doping, and then we'll roll directly into the rules briefing. Immediately following that at 3 p.m., Craig Hankin will host our draft legal clinic, so that will provide some further insight. Just note that both events over the course of this weekend are non-draft events. We'll have our Draft Legal Triathlon World Qualifier National Championship held in Sarasota in mid-October. So a lot of the discussion, tactics, equipment rules will be touched upon in this meeting. Also note there's no swimming permitted in Lake Erie outside of race days, outside of your race time and scheduled swim warm-up times. Note that it is a public beach and everything is at your own risk. Saturday, August 11th, I'll kind of hit the key points here with the first wave. I won't go through all the wave times listing. These all can be found on the website as well. TA will open at 5 o'clock a.m. and will be open until 6:55 a.m. with a race start beginning at 7 o'clock a.m. with the males 30 through 34. The race day expo area will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m., but there will be select vendors open at 5:30 a.m. So I'll give you a second to kind of look through this. So we'll have 19 waves for Olympic distance athletes on Saturday. One important thing to note, which I'll touch upon in a few slides, is shuttles and getting to the venue. Please make sure you allow some additional time to get to the venue based off of when TA opens and when TA closes. If we can open TA prior to 5 o'clock a.m., we certainly will to get people checked in and set up from a gear standpoint. Continuing on Saturday, August 11th, the swim cutoff will be 10:32 a.m. with the bike cutoff at 12 o'clock noon. Once the last athlete is out on the run, that's when we'll open up the bike checkout for athletes. We estimate that to be at approximately 12 o'clock p.m. If the last athlete heads out on the run at 11:30, for example, we'll make sure we get TA open right at that 11:30 time frame. The course will close in its entirety at 1:20 p.m. And then we'll roll into late packet pickup for sprint distance athletes only at the same tent at Edgewater Park, the registration tent, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Cutoff for penalty discussion will be at the officials tent. Note that we will have an official there for the duration of the event for any questions that you may have based off of penalties or rules or things of that nature. Swim warm-up will take place from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. That's for sprint distance athletes only. Again, you must have your issued swim cap prior to getting in the water. Sprint bike check-in will be from 4 p.m. to 6 o'clock p.m., and that's a mandatory check-in. With transition, we're flipping transition from Olympic to sprint distance. So as soon as that transition gets flipped, in all likelihood, we'll be able to open transition prior to that 4 o'clock p.m., and we'll make an all-venue announcement should we be able to open TA prior to 4 o'clock. We'll have our USA Triathlon Town Hall meeting, again at Cleveland Public Auditorium from 4:15 to 5 o'clock, and then immediately following from 5:15 to 6:45, we'll have our Olympic distance award ceremony at the Cleveland Public Auditorium. Sunday, August 12th, a very similar schedule as it relates to the expo area and transition open and close. So the transition will open at 5 o'clock and will close at 6:55 a.m. Again, expo area will be open throughout the duration of the race times. There'll be 15 waves, with the first wave beginning at 7 o'clock a.m. for males 30 to 39 in fluorescent green caps. The last wave will be females 50 through 54 in silver caps. The swim cutoff will be at 9:30 a.m. with a bike checkout at approximately 10:50 p.m. The bike cutoff for the course will be at 11 o'clock a.m. and the course will close in its entirety at 12 o'clock p.m. Cutoff for penalty discussion is at 12:20, and then the award ceremony will take place from 1 to 2:30 p.m. at the public auditorium. Please note that before you go to the sprint distance award ceremony, you need to get your bike checked out of transition. Please don't go to the award ceremony and then come back to get your bike, just based off of working through those logistics both on site and then also at the Cleveland Public Auditorium, since the public auditorium is about 10 minutes from the venue, which is located downtown. So for athletes that are doing the double, just to kind of walk through this very quickly. So if you're racing Saturday for Olympic distance, you have a couple different options. Your first option is you can return Saturday once the sprint distance bike check-in takes place from 4 to 6:30 p.m. and then re-rack your bike in that rack position. We will have two rows of racks in the backside of transition that your bikes can be moved to temporarily. So you can rack them there and then re-rack them in the morning. Just note that it's your responsibility as an athlete to make sure that you change out all your race numbers. So this serves as a convenience factor to you as an athlete. So again, to recap, you can return Saturday when sprint distance bike check-in opens and re-rack your bike in the appropriate position. Or you can arrive Sunday morning when TA is open to re-rack your bike at the appropriate position with your sprint distance number. So that would, the option B would go into effect if you choose to open rack it on the back two racks, but note that you must move it to your appropriate racking position, otherwise you will be issued a penalty. Again, just kind of recapping this as well. You have a different race number for each race, so you must change those out. Staff will not be moving your bikes for you, so it's your responsibility as an athlete. All numbers are unique to each athlete. So again, if you're racing sprint and Olympic distance, you will not have the same numbers for the races. Additionally, the racks without numbers are located inside of TA, so those are still in a secure area. So those are the open racking should those athletes be doing both races. Lastly, please make sure that you wear your appropriate swim cap and appropriate timing chip for the specified day of racing. Packet pickup procedures. So packet pickup will take place Thursday and Friday from August 9th and 10th at Edgewater Park in the lawn in the race registration tent, with late packet pickup on Saturday the 11th for sprint distance only from 2 to 6. You must have your photo ID and USAT card. We'll have countless stations set up for you to check in, beginning with an iPad kiosk, and then dispersing to your specified race number tables to get you checked in, where you receive your race packet, your timing chip, your bib number, your goodie bag, and t-shirt. Here's a quick how-to on the timing chips. So they must be worn around the ankle. For those that are racing the Olympic distance race, you will be receiving a black strap chip. And for those that are racing sprint distance, you will receive a red strap chip. So you will receive both of these at packet pickup. Again, it's your responsibility. These are not disposable chips. So you'll be turning each chip in at the completion of each race. Please make sure you wear the appropriate color chip for the appropriate day of racing. Lastly, wear the ankle bracelet or your chip around your left ankle during the race. If it is wetsuit legal, just make sure you don't put that over top of the leg of your wetsuit. So when you strip your wetsuit off, it potentially pulls a chip off. So just be cognizant of that as well. Again, just a visual on this. So Olympic distance will wear a black chip strap and sprint distance will wear a red chip strap. You will return your chip, including the strap, at the completion of each race. So these next few slides will be race site parking information as well as shuttle information. So please listen very attentively to these slides. Again, all this information is also posted on our website. So from Wednesday, August 8th through Friday, August 10th, parking will be available for free on site at Edgewater Park. And note that there is no shuttle service available throughout these dates. We encourage you to carpool to the site just because there's limited parking. Additionally, across the shoreway, there's a pedestrian tunnel that goes over. There's some street parking opportunities over there as well, should those be needed. If you are using a map app, so Google Maps or something to that effect, just make sure you type in this address. This will get you directly to the venue, which is 7800 Cleveland Memorial Shoreway, Cleveland, Ohio 44102. Another very, very important note, per park regulations, overnight parking is not prohibited. I'm sorry, that should say not prohibited. So you're not able to park in the park overnight. So no cars will be able to be left overnight. So event days on both Saturday and Sunday. This is for only athletes that have pre-purchased a parking pass. So very important, only athletes that have pre-purchased a parking pass. Parking passes are sold out. So if you did not purchase a parking pass, no need to listen to this. So parking is available on those 2 days for those that have purchased a parking pass for those specific days. So there's a Saturday pass, there's a Sunday pass, and then there's a 2-day pass. You will receive these passes in the mail prior to the event, and you will need to present them upon arrival to Edgewater Park. So there'll be 2 checkpoints before you even get to the park. Please make sure you have those passes. If you don't have those passes, you will not be permitted in, regardless if you've purchased one or not. Once you enter the park with those parking passes, again, people that have pre-purchased those parking passes, you need to follow the directions of Metro Parks rangers. You'll be directed to park in either the cement lots to the north of the expo area or in the large green space. As you go into those spaces, please make sure you park as tight as possible. Additionally, for those that have parking passes, you will need to enter the venue no later than 6:15 a.m. both Saturday and Sunday. At 6:15, it's going to be a hard cutoff based off of getting the course set. So make sure you allow appropriate time to get over to the venue, into the venue, past the main entry point, no later than 6:15 a.m. I encourage you to shoot for being there no later than 6 o'clock a.m. so you don't get backed up if there is a little bit of traffic coming in. And you will not be permitted to leave in your vehicle until the bike course is clear. So estimations are 12:30 on Saturday and 11:30 on Sunday. Obviously, once that all clear happens, we'll communicate that to the Metro Parks Rangers who are coordinating the parking operations on site to get you out. So kind of walking through this map very quickly. So for those that have a parking pass, you'll come down, if you're staying downtown, you'll come down Detroit Avenue. You'll take a right on West 73rd Street. At this location where the green arrow is will be a Metro Park Ranger. This is where you're required to present your parking pass. They'll then wave you through into the venue. So as you go into the venue, you'll go around the roundabout. You'll either park in the large grassy lot or the northernmost concrete lot. For those that are riding the shuttle, so for the majority of all other athletes, I will get to that in a couple slides, but the shuttle will take you up 65th Avenue. They'll drop you with the door side closest to the pedestrian walkway. You'll walk under the shoreway, which the bike course travels over, and that will get you to the venue. Lastly, for rideshare and drop pickup, it will be at this location at Terrestrial Brewing. So this is just off of 76th. I will get to those details in just 1 second. Again, pre-purchased parking passes are only on race days, and parking is permitted on site on non-race days and outside of race times at no cost. So if you're a sprint distance athlete coming Saturday, you're coming at 2 o'clock p.m. for packet pickup, you are able to park on site minus a parking pass. Again, you're not permitted to leave cars overnight. So off-site parking and the company shuttle transportation. So athletes that do not have a parking pass, there's a free off-site parking with transport to Edgewater Park on Saturday, August 11th and Sunday, August 12th via the shuttle bus. Just make sure you allow adequate time to load onto the shuttle bus, travel time to the venue, which is 8 to 10 minutes, and then a short walk to the venue. So once you get dropped from the shuttle, it'll be anywhere between a 5 to 6 minute walk to the venue. So looking at that from a time standpoint, once you're loaded onto the bus, it's going to be between 15 and 17 minutes to get to the venue. So please make sure that you plan accordingly. The first shuttle bus will begin on both days at 4:30 a.m. and will go until 2 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, and then until 1 o'clock p.m. on Sunday. Also note that there's no bikes permitted on the shuttles as well. The free parking accompanies shuttle transport to Edgewater is available for all athletes and spectators from the North Coast Harbor Lot, which is on the north side of First Energy Stadium, which is where the Cleveland Browns play. You'll enter the lot via Erie side and park anywhere within the parking grid. You can then proceed to the shuttle buses stage along Erie side for transport to Edgewater Park. North Coast Harbor is at 515 Erie Side Avenue, and this lot will open at 4 o'clock a.m. each morning. If that North Coast Harbor lot is filled, overflow parking is in the west third lot, which is directly southwest of the North Coast Harbor lot. So you need to walk to the North Coast Harbor lot if that west third lot is utilized for transport to Edgewater Park via those shuttle buses. So additional shuttle options with a bit more detail. There'll also be, for anyone staying downtown, it's encouraged to walk to the shuttle pickup point, which is right next to the Hilton downtown Cleveland, which is actually, it's Cleveland Public Auditorium, West Mall Drive, East Mall Drive, and then Hilton Cleveland. Those are all pretty much in a contiguous space, so it'll be easy to see the shuttle buses. There'll be about 45 shuttle buses stacked up at that location, so those will be sent in pods of 4. So it'll be clearly defined where that shuttle loading zone is. Once those are loaded, they'll ship out. The next 4 will drive up, load those buses. So as you're loading, please just make sure you have everything with you. We're loading shuttle buses as quick as possible and then getting them over to the venue. Those shuttle buses, like I said, will be staged on West Mall Drive directly adjacent, and then they'll transfer athletes to Edgewater Park for a shut-off. Once athletes are dropped off, they will circle back, get the next crew of athletes, and bring them back to the venue. Again, shuttle times are running from 4:30 to 2 o'clock on Saturday and 4:30 to 1 o'clock on Sunday. Note that for all shuttle operations originating from any point whatsoever, all drop-offs and pickups will be located at one site outside of Edgewater Park. So this is located next to the intersection of West 65th and Father Caruso Drive. So for access to Edgewater Park, once the drop-off happens, you'll need to proceed through the West 65th Street pedestrian tunnel. There'll be signage as well that leads you directly to that. The approximate walking time is anywhere between 6 and 8 minutes. The suggested rideshare drop-off point will be at Terrestrial Brewing, which is 7524 Father Frascati Drive. Once you're dropped off here, you'll need to proceed through the West 73rd Street pedestrian tunnel to access Edgewater Park. Additional details can be found at the website listed below, so usatriathlon.org/AGNC parking 18. Again, additional note that there are no bikes permitted on the shuttles. You may be asking how I get my bike to and from Edgewater Park. So I'm almost going to read this verbatim to make sure it's as thorough as possible. Again, this information is all listed on the website as well. So any person who did not purchase a parking pass is encouraged to utilize the free shuttle, as I just mentioned in the previous slide. Since those bikes are not permitted on the shuttles, you're encouraged to do one of the following options. So getting to Edgewater Park. For Olympic distance, either drive or ride your bike to the venue for bike check-in on Friday, August 10th between 10 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. The suggested route is down Detroit Avenue. Parking at the venue is free and open to anyone Thursday and Friday, and note that a shuttle service is not available on Thursday and Friday. For sprint distance check-in on Saturday, drive or ride your bike to the venue for bike check-in. Again, the suggested route is via Detroit. Note that no athletes will be permitted to ride on the shoreway whatsoever outside of race times to the venue. And then additionally for sprint distance, parking is available on site to anyone at no charge after 12:30 p.m. on Saturday once the bike course reopens. For those athletes that are doing both Olympic and sprint distance races, you can leave your bike in transition in the unmarked racks at the north side of transition, and then after the Olympic race, return later to re-rack for sprint, either on that day or the following morning on Sunday morning. Just note that it's your responsibility as an athlete to re-rack your bike. Traveling back downtown after the race. So for Olympic distance, parking will be free and open to all people after 12:30 p.m. on Saturday. You may either take the shuttle back to the parking area or hotels and then drive back to the venue, or you're permitted to, of course, to ride your bike back downtown, which is approximately 3 miles. And note that bikes must be removed from the TA area on Saturday by 1:30 p.m. For sprint, parking will be free and open to everyone after 11:30 a.m. Athletes may either take the shuttle back to the parking area or the hotels and drive back to the venue to collect their bike, or they can ride their bike back downtown, which is approximately 3 miles. Again, noting that parking passes are sold out. So if you did not purchase a parking pass, you will not be permitted to park at the venue on race days during race times. This map details those lots that I had mentioned. So the primary athlete and spectator parking lot will be the North Coast Harbor lot, which is just north of First Energy Stadium, which is where the Browns play. So you'll enter via Erie side and park there, and the shuttle pickup and drop off point will be right here where the green arrow is. Overflow parking lot will be at the West 3rd Street lot. Again, the shuttle pickup point will be here, but you can park in this area should there be overflow. And then lastly, the downtown hotel shuttle pickup and drop off will be at West Mall Drive. So you have the Hilton Cleveland here, the Cleveland Public Auditorium. The staging area will be right here where the green arrow is, where athletes will stage prior to getting on the bus. From a road closure standpoint, so very important to be aware of. So on Saturday, August 11th, the closures will be in effect from 5 o'clock a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The Shoreway will be closed from West Boulevard, which is west of the venue, to the I-90 interchange. The South Marginal, East 55th, St. Clair, East 40th, Chester, East 105th, and Martin Luther King Drive will be all closed. Additionally, there's a portion of the run course that is on Lake Erie Drive. The majority of the run course is contained to Lower and Upper Edgewater Park, so there will be a small closure there. On Sunday, the closure will be Cleveland Memorial Shoreway from West Boulevard, again, west of the venue to the I-90 interchange in the South Marginal, and almost the same for the run course on Sunday as it was on Saturday. It'll just be a little bit more shallow of a turnaround. So during this time period, so if you're coming to the venue, the suggested route is going down Detroit, or there's 2 to 3 streets that are run parallel, both north and south of Detroit. Just note that you will not be permitted to drive on the Shoreway to the From a sticker placement standpoint, so you'll receive a handful of stickers. You will not be required to put a sticker on your swim cap. Those will be written on Sharpie for you. So you'll have your bike rack sticker, which is located here with the QR Quintana Roo logo on that. You have 2 helmet stickers, so you need to put those helmet stickers, a minimum of 1 on your helmet, and then you'll have your race bib number. We'll cover more of these details in the rules briefing, but you're not to alter your race number, affecting the number on that. You also have a t-shirt pull tab and a goodie bag pull tab in which you will present as well. And your number must be worn on the run. Some further details as far as the seat post number. So as you can see detailed here in this photo, it'll need to go around your seat post or your brake calipers. So that is required. Again, athletes that are doing both races, you will be required to use your assigned number for each race, and those assigned numbers will be different for each race. Race tattoos will be issued at packet pickup, so it's a quad set of tattoos, so they need to go on the outside of your biceps and on the outside of your calves. Just make sure you take a double look at them to make sure you're putting them on correctly and in the right direction and right side up versus upside down. We will have markers as a backup, and then your athlete age will be marked on the back of your calf upon entering transition on race morning. Timing chips will be handed out at packet pickup in those race packets. Again, making sure you're wearing the appropriate color timing chip for the appropriate day of racing. Please make sure you don't forget them on race day. My recommendation is always before you go to bed, put it around your ankle, so that way first thing in the morning, if you already have it on, it's just a friendly reminder to not forget those. The rules briefing, as I mentioned, will be Friday the 10th at 2 o'clock p.m. at the Cleveland Public Auditorium. It's optional, but it's very highly recommended. It's astounding how many athletes go to this briefing, receive no penalties, versus athletes that don't go to this briefing that receive the penalties. So those rules will be enforced, so please make sure you know the rules. Our Commissioner of Officials and Head Official Deb Wilson will be conducting this briefing. I will touch on a few top line items prior to that before I roll into Deb for her to complete her briefing to you as athletes. Draft Legal Clinic will immediately follow at 3 o'clock p.m. Again, same location, and Craig Hankin will be doing this for us. Bike check-in on Friday for Olympic distance is mandatory, and then for Saturday is mandatory for sprint distance. Olympic distance, again, as a reminder, Friday from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturday for sprint distance from 4 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. You must have your wristband and your bike number, so you will need to gone through packet pickup in order to check your bike in. Bike support will be on-site and on course, provided by Bike Authority as well. So detailed bag check procedures. So to walk through this, upon check-in or receiving your race packet, you'll get a clear plastic bag that's clearly labeled your bag check bag. So it's 18 by 24 inches. You're permitted to check the bags in on race day at the tent near transition. So there'll be a bag check tent. You can take your items into transition. You are not permitted to leave non-race essential items within transition. So you can take your TA bag into transition, unload the things that you need. Once everything is unloaded, that transition bag needs to come out into the clear plastic bag, and then that's checked in the bag check tent. Additionally, we'll have a key drop area at the bag check tent. So if you parked on site, for example, or you're just coming to the venue with your race essential items and you just have keys or something to that effect, we'll have a key kiosk as well, also located in the bag check tent. And lastly, please do not leave your bags or backpacks unattended for any period of time. It becomes a major security issue. So bag check will be implemented during swim warm-up times, during race times on those 3 days, Friday for swim warm-up, and then Saturday and Sunday for race time. Race morning, TA, 5 to 6:55 a.m. No bags allowed in TA during the race. Bag check tent, which I just touched upon, and the swim warm-up will be limited to 1 to 2 waves prior to your specified start time. So a quick detail of the venue. So TA is located in the southeast corner of this map. Bike out, bike in, swim in, run out, all clearly labeled. To the west of the map, I'll get to it on the next map, is where the swim start is. The swim exit is located on the east side of the beach. Just north of the finish line will be the Honors Club tent, the VIP tent, the expo area, which also includes the race registration tent, officials, results. Tri-Bike Transport is just north of that. To the west of the expo area will be the beer garden, food trucks, live stream and video board. And then to the east side, bike support will be located, Bike Authority will be located where the number 1 is as well. Also, just important to note that the 2 parking on site are for parking passes only during race times. Here's a little bit more detail, so I'll leave this up for a second for you to just kind of get the lay of the land. Upon finishing the race, there'll be a recovery area. So there'll be a couple masseuses as well as ice baths, and then you'll flow directly into the post-race food area. Okay, so to detail transition. Here. So upon exiting the swim, you will run under, which is what we're terming as the flyover. So it'll be a device or structure that is built where swimmers will run under and runners will run over to get to the finish line. So you run through this parking lot, which will be carpeted into TA. You'll come out on the bike. You'll come out on the bike here, following the blue line, down the shoreway, depending on the race you're doing. Once you head back in on the bike, the dismount arch will be located at this location. So there'll be 2 plasticades, a huge bike dismount arch, and then a bike dismount sticker that's on the pavement. You'll dismount a very short run into TA and then out on the run. Once you go out on the run, for Olympic distance athletes, you'll do 2 laps on the run. So you're going to stay right to get to lap 2. If you've completed lap 2, or if you're doing sprint distance, it's only a 1 lap on the run. You'll continue up and over the flyover and then a slight right to the finish line. The Olympic distance swim course is a 1-lap course. The current water temperature is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. As we get additional reads closer to the event, we'll get those posted on the website as well. I believe the next read is in 2 days, so that would be July 28th. It'll be an in-water start lined up parallel and behind the buoys as well as the kayaks, and it'll be a rectangular loop. The yellow buoys are turn buoys, and the orange round buoys are sight buoys. With those sight buoys, you may swim to either side of those sight buoys. Just note that the way the buoys will be lined up between the sight buoys and the turn buoys, that is the most direct path to take if you're swimming the course. So if you're swimming way left, if you're swimming way right, and then getting around those turn buoys, you're going to be swimming a greater distance than that 1,500 meters for the Olympic distance race. Please make sure it's your responsibility as an athlete to review those maps for the exact course. There'll be support on water via boats, lifeguards, and kayaks, and make sure that you're at the start no later than 20 minutes before your scheduled wave start time. Olympic swim course. So this area here where the green arrow is will be the Black Roca start arch. So that is where the timing mat will be located. We'll have our staff members there as well. Once you cross that start arch, you will not be permitted to step back out unless you are conceding your race, at which point, if you decide not to race at any point, it's imperative that you let a USAT staff member know that you have chosen not to race, and you turn in your timing chip. This is extremely important from an accountability standpoint to make sure if we've seen you've crossed the timing mat, that we have full accountability for you if we don't see you cross that swim exit map. So again, I can't stress this enough. Please make sure you find a USAT staff member if you choose not to race, and then we'll collect your timing chip from you. The swim warm-up area will be directly to the west, so that'll be a small warm-up area. You have two options once you complete your swim warm-up. You need to listen very attentively to our announcer to make sure you're ushered over to the swim start area prior to your wave start. So after you've completed your swim warm-up, you can either exit onto the beach area and then walk into the swim start area, or the other option is that you may swim over directly to the swim start area. Wave starts will be based off of times that we've published, based off of a timing standpoint. So please make sure you start with your own wave. You'll go out a rectangular swim, you'll exit the swim under the flyover, and then into TA. The Olympic distance bike course will be a 1-lap 40K course, so it's completely closed to traffic. It's a combination of a flat course with a couple gradual climbs and a couple steep descents. One important thing to note is as you're coming back to the venue off of the shoreway, off the off-ramp, it's a pretty decent and gradual slope that you're coming down, so just make sure you watch your speed at that location. Again, course is close to traffic, no bottle exchange, and USAT officials will be on course. So to walk through the Olympic distance bike course, so you will bike out here, you'll mount at this location, and then it'll be a gradual turn onto the shoreway. So going down to the larger map here, you'll come out, you'll make the U-turn right prior to West Boulevard. You're on the shoreway, traveling down the shoreway where you transfer onto the South Marginal. Once you're on the South Marginal, you'll continue down the South Marginal where you will take a right on East 55th Street. After taking a right, you'll take another right on St. Clair, and then you'll take a left on East 40th Street. Once you're on East 40th Street, you'll take a left-hand turn onto Chester. So important to note on Chester, it's 3 lanes each direction. There'll be a grassy divided median. You will be riding in the westbound lanes on Chester Avenue, and that will be split with 2-way bike traffic. So you'll have a lane and a half each direction. On the opposite side of Chester, it'll be 1-way vehicular traffic. So again, you will not be intermingling with cars whatsoever. You'll have a lane and a half each direction on Chester. Traveling down Chester, you're going to take a left on East 105th and then to MLK where you go through the Cultural Gardens. You make a U-turn and then head back the exact same way. The only nuance is that once you get on the shoreway, you'll get off of the I-90 ramp. Sorry, get onto the I-90 ramp, which then spits you back out onto the shoreway, traveling down the shoreway where you'll dismount once you come into TA and just prior to TA. The Olympic distance run course is a 2-lap 10K course with a full closure. So there'll be 4 aid stations per lap with 8 for the entire run. So Gatorade Endurance Formula, water, and science and sport gels will both be offered on the course. There'll be volunteers and police on course. With lap 2, I'll detail that on the next slide here. So upon returning from the bike, run out will be located here. You'll run out. Continuing down, you'll hit your first aid station. Continuing up the paved pathway where you hit your second aid station. You'll then transfer from Upper Edgewater Park to Lake Avenue. You make your 180 on Lake Avenue back into Edgewater Park. You hit this aid station. So this aid station here where the green arrow is located will be located in the center of the road. So technically you can hit that twice per lap if you so choose. You'll go around the pigtail, hit it again through Upper Edgewater Park before going back into Lower Edgewater Park. This is a gradual hill going down. For lap 2, you're going to stay right and then make that 180. If you've completed lap 2, you're going to continue straight over the flyover and then to the finish. The swim course for sprint distance, again, a 1-lap rectangular course. Current water temp is still 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Same in-water start, lined up, choir style. There'll be plenty of room for start, so everyone should be in a singular line. It's that rectangular loop, as I mentioned. Yellow triangular buoys will be turn buoys, in which you must take around your right shoulder. Your orange buoys are sight buoys, and you may swim to either side of those. Sprint swim, very, very similar to Olympic. It's just the shorter distance. So there'll be 1 sight buoy, both on the way out and on the way back, around the yellow turn buoys, and then to the swim exit. Sprint bike course is a 1-lap 20K course, so it's a flat course with a couple gradual climbs. Again, no bottle exchange, and USAT officials will be on the course. Detailing the sprint distance course. So bike out, you'll mount at this location here onto the shoreway. As you travel on the shoreway, it'll be the same turnaround just prior to West Boulevard. continuing eastbound on the shoreway where you transfer over to the South Marginal. So you continue on the South Marginal and you'll make your 180 at East 49th Street. Back headed westbound on the South Marginal before you get on the I-90 interchange, which will spit you back out onto the shoreway. Traveling down the shoreway where you'll enter back into Edgewater Park in the venue. Going to the northwest part of this map in the blown up magnified area. You'll continue in, bike dismount, and then a very short run into TA. Sprint distance run is very similar to that of Olympic distance with the exception of it being a one-lap course. So there'll be 4 aid stations offering the same items, Gatorade, water, and science and sport gels, and there'll be volunteers and police on course. So to detail this, out of run out, you'll hit the first aid station, you'll transfer from lower Edgewater to upper Edgewater Park. You'll transfer onto Lake Drive, where it'll be a more shallow of a turnaround than that of the Olympic distance. This will be very clearly marked. Back into upper Edgewater Park, around hitting another aid station, traveling through to lower Edgewater, and then you'll be forced to stay left to go over the flyover for your 1 lap to the finish. Aid stations will be approximately 0.75 miles on the run course. Again, items that are offered, I've already gone over, and there's no bottle exchange on the bike course. Transition will have the mount and dismount lines clearly marked, as well as the dismount arch. Bike racks are individually numbered, so you must rack in your assigned location. You must rack by your seat in T1. Upon entering back for T2, you can either rack by your bars or your saddle. If you're looking at the rack, your race number should be facing you, and your front wheel needs to be down on that number facing you as well. So please make sure you rack correctly. We'll have plenty of staff, officials, and volunteers to assist you if needed. Only race essentials are allowed in TA, so no bags will be permitted. That's the reason why we have those bag check tents. Finish line will have water and Gatorade, as well as medical support, finisher medal, post-race food. So upon finishing the finish, you're going to take a left. You're going to pass through or by the recovery tent. You continue straight, and that'll get you right to the post-race food area. Individual unofficial results, important that those are unofficial results, are available, and all Olympic distance results are final after 2:25 on Saturday and sprint after 12:20 on Sunday. Awards ceremony, so the town hall meeting on Saturday will run from 4:15 to 5, and then Olympic distance awards will be from 5:15 to 6:45, with 10 awarded per age group per gender for Olympic distance. And on Sunday, both these locations are at the Cleveland Public Auditorium, will be from 1:00 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. with top 5 awarded per age group. Parking for the Cleveland Public Auditorium. So the address is listed here at 500 Lakeside Avenue. There's several parking garages in the area that have varying prices, as well as some street parking. So again, the Cleveland Public Auditorium is just 1 block east of the Hilton downtown, the host hotel, and the auditorium is also walkable from many hotels that are located downtown. We'll have a beer garden and food truck area. So this is directly adjacent to the expo area, which is also the big screen is also. Non-alcoholic beverages, food, and a great view via the food trucks is offered at this location. You must bring a photo ID with date of birth if you wish to purchase alcohol. Please drink responsibly. And then in the morning, coffee will be offered at that location as well. And on this following slide, the beach house picture is located here. So this is at the venue. This overlooks the venue and the swim course. So there'll be numerous things taking place both in and around the beach house as well as the beach area. So there'll be live bands during non-race hours. So that will be Friday and Saturday. During non-race hours, there'll be a tent right next to the beach house. There'll be beach volleyball, beach chairs, giant Jenga, human foosball, and a variety of other yard type games for yourself, either when you're not racing, family members, to provide some additional festival-like atmosphere and additional entertainment. Additionally, the beach house, they'll be serving food and alcohol. And the bottom floor, they will have, bottom floor here will be concessions. The run course will actually travel right in front of that. So it becomes a really good viewing area. Just be cognizant that there is a fire code and it will be staffed. So again, it's a great area to view the race that's shaded, and you can have some drinks and some food while watching the race as well. There's a movie viewing as well. So the movie is called We Are Triathletes. So it's a documentary. So this will be held on Wednesday, August 8th at 7:30 p.m. So this is located at the Capitol Theater, which is just a mile from Edgewater Park. Tickets are $9.75 plus a $1.95 booking fee. These can be booked and purchased online. I would recommend purchasing them online prior to the event. And this information and website link is located on our website. There'll be a Sunset Sprint 5K, which is put on by the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, taking place on Friday, August 10th at 6:30 p.m. We highly encourage you to pre-register for that if you're interested in racing. So the course in large part will be very similar to the run course. Again, this is managed by the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, so they will be handling all details and logistics of this race. Team USA for 2019 in Switzerland. So for Olympic and sprint distance athletes. So athletes must go to the awards ceremony to claim a spot for both Olympic and sprint. For Olympic distance, so it is the top 18 in each age group rolling down to 25th place after applying the age up rule. Athletes must be present, as I had mentioned. Rankings. The top 20 athletes per age group in the USAT annual rankings as of 12/31 will qualify for the World Championships. The top 2 are offered a spot pending availability on the roster rolling down to 20. The sprint distance race. So not to get too much into this, again, this is all posted on the website. 8 spots will be awarded at age group nationals. So all athletes claiming these spots will be notified on site. In order to, all athletes claiming a pass down spot must meet these 2 requirements. For qualification path 2, that is for our Draft Legal Triathlon National Championship, which is located in Sarasota, Florida. I apologize, that date is incorrect. It's actually October 14th. All that information is listed on our website. So that will reserve up to 10 spots, and then that will roll back to Sprint Nationals should those qualification spots not be met based off of those criteria. Lastly, we want to thank all of our partners, both partners, travel partners, and suppliers. So I'll leave this up here for a second. There'll be various announcements on site, and the majority of these partners will also be on site as well in and around the expo area. If you do have any questions, please feel free to send those questions to nationalevents@usatriathlon.org. For an immediate answer, please bring your questions to the information tent. Lastly, I want to thank all of the partners that are making this event happen, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, the City of Cleveland, as well as countless other entities that we've pulled together in conjunction for this event. So we expect to have 5,000 plus athletes at the race, with 3,500 plus on Saturday and 1,800 plus at a minimum on Sunday. So we're looking forward to a great event. Safe travels to everyone, and we will see you in Cleveland in a few short weeks. Thanks, and have a great race.